O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX $419 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 Acura MDX during our 17th anniversary sale.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX, $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Yes, sir. Time to wake up. If you haven't woken up, it's 10 o'clock. Come on, get your ass up. Ready to rock, ready to roll. We got Bitcoin back up over 102,000 already. Got the dogs barking in the background. Did you get the dip at 98 or 99? Anyway, so lots of stuff to talk about. OKC are the champs. The real champs were on Fort Lauderdale Beach yesterday. Let's see. The Heat failed again to get Durant, but it's all not bad, actually. In a strange twist, I'm actually kind of proud of the Heat lately here. Wow, I haven't felt like this in a while. Like wow, competence. But anyway, we'll get to that. Ira Winderman will join us at the bottom of the hour, so we'll have a little fun with him. Obviously, we got to dedicate the start of this show to the best team, the best organization in town by miles and miles and miles. It's the Florida Panthers. They are the team that right now is doing it better than anybody in the NHL, of course, but clearly doing it better than anybody in South Florida and in the state of Florida, period. End of story. You know, and top to bottom, from ownership all the way down to the broadcasters, to Steve Goldstein and the boys, okay? Excellence is there from top to bottom in that franchise. Excellence by the fans, once again, by the way, because it doesn't matter. Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Seattle, Toronto, many other cities that I can mention, Paris, you name it. It doesn't matter. I can go on and on and on and on and talk about Rio and talk about anywhere in Argentina or whatever, okay? Fans act like animals when they win championships. You know what I'm saying? So, awesome job by the Florida Panthers, by South Florida sports fans, period. South Florida sports fans. You went out there yesterday, you packed that place, and there was no incidents. It just looked like people having fun, bro. Fun. Fort Lauderdale police kept that thing in check. Everything went well. Hopefully not too many people passed out in the heat. Hope you all out there. That was the fear. Not the crime, not craziness, not stupidity, none of that. It was not fighting or any of that. It was more about dehydration because God, oh my God, you people out there that were in your Panther jerseys in that heat, God bless you, dude. God bless you. I don't know how you did it, but God bless you. I hope you stayed super hydrated. 2 waters for every damn liquor, beer, whatever the hell you were drinking. You know what I'm saying? But wow. And just another great party, another great parade. classy fans once again. You know what I'm saying? Just love it, man. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And as a true blue South Floridian, born and raised here, I'm one of the freaks. And these are moments where you're really proud of the way our community handles certain things, and that was actually really, really cool. And I don't want that to go unnoticed, because it seems like a lot of you idiots around the country and other parts of the world, you don't know how to act when Liverpool wins it all or something like that. You act like complete buffoons. You act like idiots. You tear up your own town. You assault people. You attack places. None of that shit ever goes on in South Florida. When the Canes win, when the Marlins win, when the Heat win, when the Panthers win, Dolphins don't win shit, so we don't have to mention them. Okay, so, when they won, it was a whole, that nobody ever did anything in any city anywhere when they would win in those days. In the early 70s, whatever. They were out there with their shades and whatever, and their hats and their ties, just and waving flags, nice, and they did nothing in those days. So Dolphins don't ever count, because we don't even know what it's like. We may never, who knows. Anyway, but the other teams that actually win titles here in modern day sports, check it out. We bat 1,000. We don't bat 950. We don't bat 900 or 700 or 600 or maybe 300 like some of your cities out there that your people act like complete morons for any championship. Our people actually act like decent human beings. So that first and foremost, okay? First and foremost, credit to South Floridians that make this what it is, make the experience great. So let me get that out of the way first and foremost. If you happen to live in one of those cities, maybe you all should play all the championship runs from the South Florida sports teams. There's a lot of them. So there's a lot of examples of us acting like really decent human beings after we win the title, the week after, and the parades and all of that. You all, every one of you in Chicago, in New York, LA, you all should make tapes or files for your computers. Okay? Different celebrations, different sports, and say, hey, look how South Florida acts when they win championships. Marlins, Heat, Panthers, Canes. Look how they act. We should actually be like them. Okay, so great example for, you idiots in Atlanta, morons in Dallas, things like that. Because I can point out most cities, because most of the cities actually act like complete losers. So good stuff for you all out there around the country. And by the way, other parts of the world, since this show hits other parts of the world, and since we hit honesty where nobody really does in sports on this show. Just there. Honesty. Okay? We act like real people. You all out there that act like animals, you could learn a lot from South Floridians, baby. How to act like decent human beings. Not throwing garbage at fans like you New Yorkers. Karma, isn't it a bitch? Huh? Act like assholes. Celebrate nothing practically. So there you go. Anyway, more power to you idiots out there. Learn how to act. But congratulations to South Florida sports fans. That's what I'm most proud of. And the Panthers. It's perfection. We saw it with the Dolphins. The Panthers are perfection. Back in the day when the Dolphins did it, that's how everybody did it. They all acted like decent human beings. They all celebrated. They all carried themselves the right way. They did things the right way, outside of maybe the Raiders. Everybody else did it the right way. And the Panthers, they are perfection. They are perfection in the way they play every single game. They're not pathetic like the Miami Heat under Jimmy Butler. They're not pathetic like they are with the Miami Dolphins, completely unorganized. They don't know what the hell they're doing under Mike McDaniel. This is a team that is well organized, very disciplined. And when you talk about team, we're watching it right now where the Dolphins, another offseason of fake bullshit, trying to create some kind of culture. Cultures aren't created out of thin air, that all of a sudden that we've gone through a mini camp and guys are grinding together. They're bonding together in a mini camp. You haven't been tested through anything, dude. And to get to where the Panthers are at right now, it starts years ago with Barkov and Huberdeau and Talon and everybody else. And I can go on and on and on. And it starts when the new ownership took over and started their assessment of the team. And they started to shave off what didn't work and keep what worked. And during that time, they were getting rid of players, bringing in other players, bringing in other draft picks. And then eventually they even had to get rid of the general manager because it was his time. Dale Talon was done. He was not good enough anymore to do that job. And so everything has been done to make that progress to get to this point, to get the right players, to represent your franchise. And when Barkov is like Tom Brady, that your best player is your hardest worker, is the guy that sets the example. And if the best player on the team, and considered one of the 5 best players in all of hockey, is doing everything possible and does all the dirty work and does anything you need to do to win, score, defend, assist, whatever the hell it is, it sets an example and there's a trickle-down effect. And then you get a Tkachuk because you need a vocal leader, something that Barkov isn't. He is now much more vocal than he's ever been, thanks to Tkachuk, of course, because you need that vocal leader. And then that's the chemistry. And these are things that are built along the way. And then, one of my sayings that I've had my entire life, pretty much, I don't know, it's been a little over 30 years that I've said it, is that success is fed off of failure. Okay? That's something that I've always told my daughter, whoever, whenever I need some kind of pickup or something, because we're all going to fail. It's the beauty of life, dude. We're all going to fail. We're all going to miss a job, lose a loved one, breakups, whatever it is, you're going to fail. You're going to fall off that bike. You're going to struggle to swim at first. You're not going to know how to do cursive writing at the beginning. You're going to fail. That's what life is, dude. Life is about failure. You start life failing. Right? Can't get up, can't walk, got to crawl. Can't run, got to walk, got to hold on to walls. You know what I'm saying? That's what life is. And if you're not ready to fail, you're not ready to succeed. And that's what this team has done. They've gone through all the failures. They figured everything out that they needed. They got the right players. They got the right coach. They got the right general manager. They have the right owner. They have the right president, by the way. Okay, because the president's pretty much kind of been the guy that's kind of been the trigger for a lot of the stuff that's gone on under him. Doesn't take any credit. You saw him on the podium, didn't say anything, talked about Zito and talks about Maurice and talks about players and
It's like, yo, dude, you're kind of like the guy that, like, they're not here without you saying, hey, we should go get these guys. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. And so Caldwell deserves it. Everything that goes top to bottom with that franchise, they are perfect. You saw a perfect performance from the Dolphins. Well, some of us did, and a lot of you know about it. But this is a perfect performance on how to be champions, how to take on the mantle of a champion, how to defend it, okay? How to really play for each other. The Dolphins are trying to create that bullshit. The Marlins tell you, oh, well, we're investing in our culture and our computers and our training and our players are going to be the best and all that bullshit. And it's all crap. It's all crap. It's all manufactured. They're trying it. That doesn't, the Panthers never told you, oh, we're trying to work on that culture and we're trying to bond with each other and we're trying to sell out for each. No, that shit has to happen. You don't talk about it. Okay? You don't talk about it. You play with a broken clavicle. You deal with the game where Bob gives up 5 goals. You go through the first couple of years after you acquire him, and it's a disaster. And you fight through the failure to get to the success. And the idea is to show improvement. What have the Panthers done for year after year after year after year? They improved on last year, bro. They won a title. They won a freaking title and improved on last year. I mean, how do you top what you've done now? I'm gonna be interested to see how they top it. Because they're going for the trifecta now. And all you need to know is Matthew Tkachuk's quote. Okay? It's all you need to know. We're the best team on the ice, and I guarantee you we're the best team off the ice. And when he's telling the stories in the press conference about how, they saw some Oilers going to dinner one night, and it's 3 dudes going to dinner together. And they're often meeting at dinner with 40 people, the entire team and trainers and coaches. And and Paul Maurice says that you can walk into our room and you won't know who the star is and the 24th player is, or the trainer or the coach, because there's a camaraderie. And that's all built through failure. That's the bond. The steps of getting to the playoffs and then getting through that first round and eventually getting to the Stanley Cup final and losing it and being so injured at the end, and then coming back the following year to climb the damn mountain all the way to the top, but then to really get to the top of the mountain and then to come back and to defend it. The only way you're able to do that is by what that man just said. And Marchand, who I truly believe is going to stay. Hell, you saw in his speech, I don't know if you caught it yesterday. Thank God I don't have to play against this guy anymore. Thank God I don't have to deal with this anymore. And he kept saying anymore and anymore, like, yo, dude, aren't you a free agent? And he was talking in past tense, like he is coming back. Bennett's coming back. And obviously he screamed, I'm not going anywhere, and all that kind of stuff. And maybe Ekblad comes back at a cut rate, because you're paying another guy like $5.75, you're paying him $7 million. You can't. When they're saying the best defenseman on the team, Gustav Forsling, and you're paying him $5.7, whatever it was, and you're paying this guy $7, he's got to take a pay cut. He's got to take a serious haircut. And maybe he'll go test the market and fail and then come back, or maybe he'll go chase the money. But he's made plenty of money. That's the guy I would not overpay. I wouldn't even come close, And I think Marshawn is not even going to ask for the world because of where he's at, because he's in the perfect place. And it's interesting. We had perfection for one season from a team. We now have the Heat never had this. That was all phony bullshit. Okay? Those guys didn't have that real bond. It's a load of shit, dude. If those guys really bonded for each other, they would have sold out for each other and they would have stayed. But everybody had their own fucking agenda. And LeBron had his own agenda and he was going to leave, and Bosch was leaving to Houston anyways. He held a gun to Pat Riley to come back. The Heat had to pay him more to come back. That's disgusting. That's not what's going on here. The Heat were successful and it was awesome, but they were frauds. There's no real bond there. It's bullshit. There's a real bond here. It's a real bond here. Okay? These guys really play for each other. Okay? That fake banana boat bullshit you saw with the Miami Heat. And plus, it's only a couple of stars. This team is loaded with more than just 3 stars. They're more than 3 stars. That's why I told you they already passed the Heat. With this championship, they already passed the Heat. It's a bigger accomplishment, what they've done so far, than the Heat. And the only reason the Dolphins are slightly ahead of them, it's because they have a perfect season. And by the way, those 70s teams had a certain bond too, until Zonka, Kick, and Warfield decided, the money from the WFL is better. Well, these guys, several of them have had a chance to make more money in other places. And they've stayed here for less. Trying to hold my sneeze. Anyway, so maybe a little water to help. This is real. This is perfection the other way. And it's really fun to watch. It's really fun to watch because outside of injury, these guys got a shot at making some history again, man. And if they can somehow in the salary cap era of sports go out there and win 3 in a row, Jesus, and go to 4 straight. Wow. That's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So it's fun to watch what's going on here, man. It really is. It's a lot of fun to watch, and just props to the entire team and the real bond that they have. It's fun to watch, man. It's fun to watch. It's fun to be a part of. We're blessed. Hey, listen, right now we don't have this on any other team, and it's not even close. The Dolphins are nowhere close to this. Okay? The Heat are, obviously, and forget about the baseball team and, soccer team, whatever. Although they did accomplish something this past week, actually, for them. That was a hell of a win. But where the Panthers are at right now as a franchise, they are light years ahead of everybody. And that Kachuk quote, best team on the ice and the best team off the ice, that says a lot, dude. It says a lot. And the sacrifice that those guys are making for each other, and you're watching it every offseason as some of them take just a little less to stay here. And I think you're going to see that again with Bennett. I think you're going to see that with Marshawn. And again, you're gonna see what we've been witnessing for a while now. Incredible chemistry with this team and incredible production in the face of all kinds of adversity in pro sports and in the salary cap era. They are fighting everything possible and outlasting it all, which is just truly, truly amazing. So there you go. So that's my 2 cents. Congratulations to the Panthers, man. And let's hope they can pull it off again. 3 in a row would be pretty freaking amazing. All right, let's switch gears. The Miami Heat. I got to say, I haven't been proud of the Heat's decisions for a while now. You know, it's been about a decade that they've been making a lot of questionable decisions. But over the weekend, they lost the race to Durant. And some would look at it as a bad thing. I'm happy that they didn't get him, but I was even happier with the approach on trying to get him because they really didn't offer anything whatsoever. And they didn't offer anything that could possibly set them back. You know, outside of the first round pick, that's about it. But the players they offered, it was really like offering nothing. And so if you would have landed Durant, listen, do I think you're going anywhere? No, even with Durant. But it would have been fun. You would have been somewhat relevant in a weak Eastern Conference. I get the whole spiel. The question is, okay, you impressed me with the non-panic move. The question is, can you really impress me and finish out the job that you really need to get done? That will be discussed with the one and only Ira Winderman in our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right. Ira, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. It was curious because I just didn't know when this would happen. It happened. We know where the Heat stood with Kevin Durant. We know they're not getting him. We know we could pay attention to the draft because it looks like they're going to keep their pick. So, yeah, you know, the NBA, it's just a fascinating league. As much as any league, it stops and then boom, it's right back to free agency and trades and the draft. So honestly, I'm getting revved up now as much as anything. We're going to see sort of a wild 2 or 3 weeks around the league, around the Heat, and certainly on our Acura Pembroke Pines reports.
No doubt. And so here's where I'm proud of them in one sense, and then now I'm going to wait and see what happens next.
Okay.
I didn't want Durant here anyways. You weren't going to get anything. You weren't going anywhere. You were just going to be trying to be relevant or whatever. And I get the whole story about the weak East or whatever. You weren't going to win shit with those guys. So, yeah, I think it's a waste. And I think you would have burned out any value left in Bam and Tyler from here on out because Tyler stayed healthy this year. You took a gamble. And I would be careful for next year because, you know, I would try to unload him as soon as I can. So I was really proud of them that they didn't panic and offer anything. They offered absolutely nothing for Durant outside of a first rounder. The players they offered reportedly, please, nobody cares. They weren't willing to part with Jovic, Khalil Ware. They weren't going to trade Tyler or Bam. So I guess they weren't offering really anything overall. Now, the question is, do you tear it down to the nuts and bolts? Do you get rid of Tyler and Bam and try to reset and restart this whole thing? Or are you still going to search for a third piece that really is even less sexier than the one you were trying to get? So what happens?
I think you can have it both ways. First of all, you and I can talk all we want about what the Heat should do, but we also know who the Heat are and what they will do. And this team will not tear down to the studs because let's look at the reality. Eric Spoelstra is a winner who can get juice out of a rock. We both agree with that. You can give him nothing, and he will get you close to 500. He did last year amid the Jimmy stuff. That's the reality, number one. Number two, the East is so bad that when ESPN just did its future rankings for next season, they just posted it online. 5 of the 15 teams in the Eastern Conference were among their worst 6 in the league, along with Utah. It's hard to fall out of the play-in. It just is. You've got Washington, you've got Charlotte, you've got Toronto, you've got Chicago, you've got really bad teams at the bottom. And then you look at what happened to the East with Dame Lillard out probably for next season, with the Bucks. Jason Tatum out for most, if not all, of next season with the Achilles with the Celtics. And unfortunately and hideously now, Tyrese Halliburton out for most or all of next season with the Pacers. So, Big O, when I look at the East, we always talk about who's the hurdle, who's the team to jump. Man, it is wide open. And I got to tell you this, and I know you don't want to hear this, but you've got to listen. With one more decent piece, the Heat can contend for number 3 in the East, which sounds ludicrous, but it's also possible. And because of that,
what are they going to win, Ira? What are they in the end? Are they winning anything?
Puncher's chance. Who were the Indiana Pacers this year? The puncher's chance.
The Heat have no shot against OKC. Zero
puncher's chance. The Pacers didn't either, and there they were. Tyrese Halliburton into the way.
Ira, nobody on the Heat has the balls of Halliburton, bro. What are you talking about? I would put Siakam over anybody over the Heat. What are you talking about, dude?
No, I think Tyler Hero has shown.
See, here's where you and I part ways, dude. You keep pumping Bam and Tyler. Tyler ain't shit, dude. He's nothing. He's a do-boy. He chokes. He doesn't have any balls, and Bam has never had any balls in his life, dude.
Well, these guys I disagree on both, and I remember Tyler Hero in 2020 in the playoffs. It's good as anyone in the Heat. I remember Tyler Hero in that game in Boston when the Heat had no one 2 years ago in the playoffs when Rozier was out, when Jimmy was out. But what I'm saying,
the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while too, Ira. And I remember Willie Burton had 51. Who gives a shit, Ira?
Tyler had a pretty shining season last season. You could talk about playoffs.
What did he do? What did he do?
And
where
show me this. If you add a +1 to this team, they can be competitive while also building for the future.
Because I never saw a Halliburton moment from Tyler.
Okay. So let me give you this. Big O, let me give you this.
I've never seen a Halliburton moment from Tyler Hero. I've never seen a Halliburton moment from Bam. See, that's where you're already pumping hopium again. Okay, you were just willing to depart with Bam, so you know deep down inside he's not.
Because the East has become a hookah lounge. Because anyone can get to the top, so you might as well take a few puffs.
Ira, the league you're covering is fucking garbage, bro. There are no more super teams. This is a stupid league now. Okay, this league's history is Magic Johnson, is the San Antonio Spurs, is the Bad Boys. That's what this league is. Michael Jordan with 6 titles. That's what this league is. This moron running this league has put on little aprons and has limited the super teams.
And that's what you're playing in now. You play the playing field.
Yeah, but your playing field is so much poorer.
Big O. I'm gonna give you a Heat deal even you would agree with. Bro. DeMar DeRozan has 2 more years left on his contract. Just follow me on this. Terry Rozier has 1. If the Kings want to move off DeRozan's money, and it could be as simple as Rozier for DeRozan, maybe some sort of late draft capital protected by the Heat. If you put DeRozan for the regular season on the Heat with Bam and Tyler, you're contending for possible home court in the playoffs for the first time in 5 years.
Ira, you're adding another 2-point player in a 3-point world.
I agree. And you're adding a regular season player who has been nothing in the playoffs. I agree. But what I'll say is this. While you are injecting your hopium, I will say this.
No, I'm not a dealer.
You can do both.
You're the dealer.
You can have both.
You're the pusher, not me.
And what I'm saying is you can have both. You can have your live radio program and your podcast. You can have two things for this reason. You can have the Heat still playing to win, but also, like you said, what they didn't offer for Durant, still the hope of Kel'el Ware, still the hope of Nikola Jovic, potentially, if it's a one-off, the hope of Jaime Jaquez, the hope of this year's number 20 pick, who knows, maybe a Walter Clayton Jr., and the hope of a possible lottery pick next year. You can play two playing fields and still wind up not behind in the game of the moment and still build a future. That's what Sunday was all about. The Miami Heat said, as much as we would like to live in the moment, because it's who we are, we also respect our future with Jovic, with Ware, with future draft choices, potentially even with this year's draft choice. You can, in the East, in today's NBA, into what you're complaining about with the parity, you can have it all. I think the Heat can travel two paths and still not make a wrong turn. Because you can.
You now know what it feels like to be a Dolphins writer now. That they write hopium every year, and if this and if that, and if they can build a running game, and if he can stay healthy, and if the coach can actually get plays in on time, and maybe, and if the secondary, it's really young.
You're talking 20 things. I'm telling you, a player as simple as a DeMar DeRozan or Malik Monk or a bought-out Bradley Beal.
That's nothing for you, bro.
Short-term, it does.
Malik Monk, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo. 0 stars on your team. 0 stars. Zero franchise players.
NBA, with the way the East is and where the league is, you can have it both ways. You can be better with the product next season, and you still can protect your future, because your future can still be a Kel'el Ware, a Nikola Jovic, a Jaime Jaquez, Pelle Larsson, a lottery pick next season if that's what winds up. What I'm saying is, Big O, you're talking about tearing down to the studs. And what I'm telling you is this. If you studs it, if you get rid of Bam and you get rid of Tyler and you get 8 first-round picks, and next season you have a lineup of Andrew Wiggins, Kel'el Ware, Nikola Jovic, Jaime Jaquez, and Pelle Larsson, I'm telling you, Eric Spoelstra still will get that into the play-in. He will. You can't avoid it. What I'm saying is
why are we wasting our time with guys that you're overpaying and injury prone in one of them, and you're going to add another old fart to the mix?
Still can trade them.
Young, and we have the wizard, and maybe you can start developing young guys, and you might, in those draft picks, you might end up finding a kid that actually has some cojones and can give us some Halliburton moments.
How old is Tyler Hero?
Anybody?
How old is Tyler Hero?
He's
25.
old. He's old enough to tell me que no tiene cojones. Okay, he's not the guy.
I think they still could drop. I'm going to disagree with you. I think they still could drop. He's 25. He was an all-star last season. He's on the verge of all NBA. Those don't come along.
All NBA. The guy they made fun of and said, oh, yeah, no, when we want to score, we go to Tyler Hero because he's a fucking turnstile.
I would tell you this. Of the 42 lottery picks over the last 3 years, I would say Tyler Hero is clearly better than 2/3 of them. So for people like Big O on our weekly Acura Pembroke Pines report who say, get lottery picks, Big O, you do realize and recognize how many lottery picks don't, Justice Winslow, pan out. That's part of it also.
I'd rather take my chance there. I already know.
You're a gambler.
I know what I have here. Ira, I know what I have here. I cannot continue. I'm not doing what you're doing.
Not continuing
yourself, dude.
I'm not continuing. I'm saying if you turn to the youth of Ware, of Jovic, of Jaquez, of Larsson, even of Tyler.
I've never said to give up on Ware or Jovic. I don't know enough of those young cats. I like them. I like Larsson. I want to find out about them. I already know about these other two guys. I know who Bam is, dude. I know how he's wired. He's not that guy. And you're paying him a lot of money already, and he's not a franchise player. And Tyler Hero is a year away from telling you, hey, give me Supermax. No, dude, I'm not. I don't even want to even deal with that. That's like, it makes no sense, Ira.
He's not going to be super
By
max
the way,
eligible, and
he
this
is
could be the case.
Prone. He is super injury prone. 1 year to a Tua Tagovailoa does not really change my mind. I'm just saying, you have conveniently forgotten about his entire physical history, and you think he just turned the corner for 1 year and he can Tua Tagovailoa us.
Nope.
Very
because
well.
I'm not extending him this season, and I do need to see him back it up, and I do need to see it again. But Big O, the NBA is replete with players from Jadrunas Ilgauskas on who were injured often early and then made the turn. Now, I know your other example is you're going to go, hey, Ira, what about Joel Embiid? And you're right. There are players who never get it right. I agree with that also. That's a chance you take. What I'm saying is this, Big O. You can keep your assets. If there is the move, I'll trade Bam in a heartbeat. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you something that you want because you've been totally irascible this morning because I don't think you've had enough of your coffee, okay? You didn't hit the Cafe Bustillo enough. There you go.
Fiji.
If I could get the number 2 pick in this week's draft from San Antonio, I would trade Bam Adebayo in a heartbeat. And I think where the Spurs are with Wembanyama, with Stephen Castle and what they have, maybe something they could or should consider. So what I'm saying, Big O, is you're saying
that I would love.
That
would get me excited.
You're saying crap can the Bam and Tyler for any future unknown picks. What I'm saying is there will be a time when it's the right time. And when it's the right time, Ira Winderman on her Acura Pembroke Pines report totally agrees with you. But not for the unknown, for the known. When the time is right, pounce. And if the Miami Heat...
But I'm just saying, move these two guys. Get young.
And I would move Bam before I move Tyler for one reason. I think Bam is better. I think Bam does more. But this is a scoring league. And until you find your scorers, you're nowhere. And if Bam is going to be the guy you keep and Tyler not, I know you want to get rid of both, but I'm just saying let's go incremental. You're not going to be able to score enough damn points to beat the Hornets or the Raptors, let alone to be a playoff team. I understand that. The Heat have waited so long to get a scorer of Tyler Hero's ability. That's why they looked at Kevin Durant, 6th in the NBA in scoring last year, and said, hey, let's at least get in this conversation. This team needs more offense. This team needs to be more fun. Letting go of Jimmy, I was fine with because he's not a scorer in today's need to score NBA because he needed Steph Curry to extend his career because he's not that offensive player. So all I'm saying with you, Big O, and our rant every week, which I wholeheartedly enjoy, is this. Yes, the right moves at the right time, but not the Big O opening the trash can and sweeping it all out and not know what you're sweeping back in.
Ira, I'm not saying just, hey, go trade him for anything. Obviously, make a smart trade, but move on. Turn the page. Get the youth movement going. You're going nowhere with these guys, and you keep hanging on to assets, and they keep devaluing to the point that when you do want to unload them, you're not going to get their max value anymore. You did that with Jimmy Butler, and now you're doing it with Bam and Tyler. And I thought with Tyler, especially midway through the year, maybe because of that, a team could have used a shooter, but then you go through the experience after that in the second half where you've got players saying, oh, yeah, no, he doesn't defend. We just attack him and score on him. And then that kind of hurts your value in the end. It's I don't know, man. I just think I already have seen enough of this already. They're not going anywhere with this. I remember when the Heat used to have real stars, real franchise players. Neither one of these guys resemble any of those guys from the past.
I would agree. Neither is made all NBA. Neither is that level of a Jimmy Butler, of Alonzo Mourning, of Tim Hardaway, of LeBron, of Dwayne, of Chris. I get that. Those guys are hard to find. The Panthers took the ultimate chance when they traded him. I guess it was Montour and Huberdeau to get Kachuk, and it was the right move at the right time. That's all I'm trying to say here. Angry Big O on a Monday morning.
Hagee's the right move, and Reinhardt's the right move.
Those were subtle moves. They didn't crap can the roster to get those guys. They got the right subtle moves. Those are a part and parcel. But the big move, you've got to wait for the big move to strike. To me, Bam for number 2, whatever requisite salaries you have to take back. In a heartbeat, thank you, Bam. I'll buy you dinner on Friday. I understand that. But it has to be the right move at the right time. You can't panic. A team 2 years removed from the NBA Finals, I don't want to hear it. You can't panic. A team with this team's history, you can't panic. So, Andy Ellisberg, Pat Riley, Adam Simon, Nick Harrison, Eric Amser, Keith Askins, find me the move and then go ahead and make the move. I will be sad if Bam is gone. He's a really good guy. I will be sad if Tyler is gone, even though he doesn't appreciate history. The guys kept this team afloat amid the Jimmy crap they've had to put up with for the past couple of years. But I do agree with this. Find the right move. The Durant move, as you correctly said at the top of our show here today, was not the be-all, end-all move. It was a stopgap move. Find the be-all, end-all.
There was, they offered nothing, Ira. That was great, man. I was really proud of them that they offered absolute. That I understood that move, actually.
I would have offered where? I would have offered where?
Oh, man. I
just don't see what.
It's too much of a risk. I don't think you're winning anything anyway with Durant, to be quite honest. I get it. It would have been fun. You would have seen the run. It's a week East, yada, 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 all that crap. But it's a very risky move. Tyler's injury prone.
I get all that. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
I would have feared that part, but props to the Heat. They offered absolutely nothing.
But even if they offered where, this is what I would say. Could you see Tyler Hero as a starter in the NBA Finals? We know our answer, yes. Can you see Bam Adebayo as a starter in the NBA Finals? We know our answer, yes. Could you see Khalil Ware as a starter in the NBA Finals? I don't know if we have an answer on that. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Probably doubtful, to be honest with you. So that's the kind of risk I could see them taking. That's the difference with what they offered, and they could have offered a little more to get support for Bam, to get support for Tyler, to get a winning attitude back in.
But the way you phrased it is funny because, see, can I expect Bam to be clutch for me in the NBA Finals? No. Can I expect Tyler to be clutch and tough and carry me in the NBA Finals? No.
But you need those pieces.
The fact that they're there doesn't mean that I want them there. Like, I actually think so. I get that Ware's not, he's for the not ready for prime time players, as they used to say in Saturday Night Live. I totally understand that because we can guess with Ware whether yes or no. But with Bam and Tyler, I'm not guessing anymore. I kind of know what I got already.
Yeah, but you need players you can trust.
I'm not expecting them to be the difference makers. Put it this way: Nimrod on the Pacers has more balls than I've seen than those guys.
No, okay? But I'm saying, those are the guys you need: the Nembharts and the Siakams and the Turners and the guys that in the NBA Finals fit. Now, are they Halliburton? No. And when Halliburton went down, game over, series over. I get it. Finding that guy is the hardest thing to do in sports. It takes patience. It takes the right move. It takes pouncing when you need it. But you can build back up to something also. I think, all I'm saying is this. I think that he can travel 2 roads and still wind up at a successful destination, but it's going to take that one over-the-top move. Let's see. You still have Tyler. You still have Bam. You still have all but one of your future first-round picks. The deal is still possible for the right player at the right time.
All right. OKC wins last night. The one thing I will say, two NBA Finals teams that I'm not really going to remember.
Correct.
Again, like I told you, this league is known for the Spurs. It's known for the bad boys. It's known for runs, man. Teams that are great. The Golden State Warriors. This OKC.
The Thunder could become that.
I love the kid, okay? SGA is... Forget it. He's a top-notch human being, pro's pro. He represents your franchise the right way, but it's kind of a blah team.
Well, Jalen Williams is a special all-NBA player also. Chet Holmgren disappointed me in the series. He was nothing. He was very good defensively, but nothing offensively. But this is a team with a gazillion first-round picks. They could still make the trade. They could still bring in the player. They could still get the Giannis Antetokounmpo. And if you add the Giannis Antetokounmpo to that roster for Chet Holmgren and 7 first-round picks, well, then you're talking something that could endure. So they still have the chance for that. The problem with the NBA is we are a small market league, and when the small market teams are in there, there's no juice. everyone's from New York. Everyone's from or been to LA. You relate to those cities. You relate to the legacy of Celtics, of Warriors, of Knicks, of Lakers. No one relates to the Thunder. There's nothing else to do there in Oklahoma City. There's no place to party.
But you're not going to become the Spurs because we don't relate to the Spurs either.
And you wouldn't anymore either. And you wouldn't anymore either. Right now, even with Victor Wembanyama and having the rookie year and Stephon Castle and now having Dylan Harper, it's hard to relate. That's what the NBA is. They just go for the crash grab and the money and the national TV contracts. So you're right. There's not that it team that you target. Look, even the NHL playoffs this year, we know the numbers were down for the Panthers. You want the Bruins, the Rangers, the Blackhawks. You want the legacy teams in there. Legacy teams still matter. The NBA instead is about the cash grab of the national TV deals and of the expansion money coming in. Hey, they're making money hand over fist, so I guess God bless them.
Okay, they're making money. Did the NBA screw up with all this apron stuff? Because I'm sorry, this is the one league that super teams they have always benefited from it. It is awesome to watch somebody try to knock off the king of the hill.
You had 25 other owners who have votes on the collective bargaining agreement who said, whoa, that's the difference. In Major League Baseball, without the cap, the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Mets have always gotten what they want because that's the way the league has been run. In the NBA, the other owners say, no, we're a salary cap league. Let's tighten the screws. MLB's not a salary cap league. They can't tighten the screws. There's no screws to tighten. That's the difference. So again, it's the question of you're bitching about the NBA, which I understand that they don't have a super team. But people bitch about MLB that the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Mets are spending all the money.
Terrible product. It's a terrible product.
So you have to find a medium there, Big O.
Baseball and basketball have lost a lot from their game, actually. It's the two sports that have really suffered a lot. You know, football has had to adjust a little bit, but it hasn't lost like it had like basketball.
In football, every team is national. It's a little different. There's no home television revenue. No one cares if there's anyone in the stands. It's all about the national money. That's what they've become.
I know, but both games have become so incomplete now. You know, it's strikeouts and home runs, it's 3-pointers and no defense, and the variety is kind of gone from both. You don't manufacture runs in baseball anymore. Your average doesn't really matter.
You know what? But to round out our conversation,
you don't use the center. You don't play the inside-outside.
It's what you started with. The NBA can sell hopium more than ever. You can be the Pacers and go from number 5 and make it to the finals. You could be the Heat 2 years ago and go from the play-in. So that's what they're selling. Next season, when the NBA season starts, I would say all but 4 or 5 teams, maybe 6, won't believe that they could be a playoff team and maybe have a chance, punch or shot for contention. That's where the NBA is right now. In MLB, we know it's about 4 or 5 teams. Even in hockey, you know, it's 7 or 8 teams. In the NFL, you know, it's certainly limited. That's what the NBA is selling. Is not only on the Orlando Alzagari show with the Acura Pembroke Pines report in Miami are we saying this, but there's teams all over the country saying the same thing. Well, the Bucks are down. Well, the Knicks don't have a coach. Well, Halliburton got hurt. We have a chance. That's what the NBA wants.
All right, we'll wrap it up with this. If you're a Lakers fan, you're super happy, right? Because Ginny Buss and company got lucky in the bubble year, and yeah, they got their title, whatever. But that organization wasn't really headed in the right direction.
Agree.
Obviously, Dodger ownership will spend like crazy, although this apron stuff is going to be hard for them in the NBA.
You can find a way. The Celtics did.
But if I'm a Lakers fan, I'm happier. I've got a better ownership group taking over, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
When you put in $10 billion, you're all in. There's no ifs when you put in your 10 bill. That's the difference.
No, I'd rather have them. I've seen already what they've done with the Dodgers. So I know they're ultra committed. I'd just rather have them. I think the bus situation was just.
No, it is. And that's why I'm so curious now with A-Rod and his group taking over in Minnesota. Are they really committed to spending, or are they going to dial it back because it's their own money and the resources are more limited? So that'll be a curious way to look at the juxtaposition there between Lakers and Timberwolves. I agree.
All right. What are you writing? What hopium are you writing there?
Well, actually, I wrote anti-hopium. I wrote that if I was the Heat, I would have included where in the deal. They just posted a column how little the Heat offered for Durant, whether that was the right move or not. I let my readers vent like never before. My longest mailbag today ever. There were a lot of thoughts on Durant, and Big O, it really is 50-50. Thank God we didn't. We can grow for the future. I wish we would. I want to root for this year. It shows it's a very polarizing issue, the way it played out there. Also, today, Monday, starts the NBA's offseason negotiating period. He can talk to Davion Mitchell. They can see what Duncan Robinson wants to do with his contract. So the doors are open that he can start talking. It's going to be a hell of a week. Who knows? Maybe even bonus Acura Pembroke Pines report edition after the NBA draft or start of free agency. It's going to be a busy and very eventful week. It already has been for the Heat. It will continue to be.
I think it's half and half, because that half that you're talking about is with me. Like, okay, I've seen this. You guys aren't playing. This is not who you are as a franchise. This is not who Pat Riley is. You know, from the beginning of that press conference, I had a dream of a parade on Biscayne. Well, you made it happen a shitload of times. That's who you are, bro. You're about raising banners.
No, and I know they are, because all of their avatars were wearing AC/DC t-shirts. So they're your people. Yes, I agree.
Right, you know, let's go, bro. Reset, and let's try to go in another direction to get to that championship.
Might happen. A week from now, we might know that when free agency starts.
Let's go. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch the hopium there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, as always, we will catch you next week.
Gonna smoke a few more Heat blunts. Thanks, Big O.
You got it, baby. There you go. Sprinkle in that hopium inside that thing there. Yes. Oh, Lordy, 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 Lordy. You know what's not hopium? Going Acura Pembroke Pines, because they've got the 17th anniversary sale going on right now. You can get the all-new Integra 2025, 3.9% financing for 60 months, folks. Get on down there at $339 a month. That is crazy. The ZDX, get electrified, $439 a month, 0% financing for 72 months. Take advantage. Come on, man. 2024, by the way. These are 2024. So, by the way, Acura, born and made here in the USA. So, the tariffs don't affect. 17th anniversary sale going on. The RDX, 4.9% financing for 60 months, $419 a month, baby. Get on down there, 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Dealership is loaded. They've got a whole lot of certified pre-owned vehicles, too. Got a great sales staff out there. They'll take care of you, man. Good people at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
By the way, thank you to Brian Radke. Appreciate you on Cash App, sir. Saying thank you for the content and thank you for the donation. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum or Chainlink or Solana donation, as Venmo has opened it up, man. And we actually invest in all 4 of those, which is a beautiful thing. Ty in the Bronx, thank you for the love on the super chat. Says Panther fans know how to party. Too bad Finns fans. Yeah, well, there you go. That's it. That's the old story, and it just gets old and lame, right? It's just old and lame. The line the same bullshit we all pull. The Canes win a champion. Oh wow, man! I wish the Dolphins were like that. Marlins win a championship. Oh, man, I wish the Dolphins could win a championship. Heat win a Oh, man, I wish the Dolphins were like them. Panthers are winning. Oh, I wish the Dolphins were like them. Yes, bro. We all know already. We all know. Okay. We all know. We all wish the same shit for the Dolphins. The Dolphins have to do it for themselves. Okay. You know, obviously are wishing, wearing whatever shirt you like to wear, sitting in whatever chair you think you can sit in, doing whatever stupid routine you want to do. As you've noticed, it hasn't worked a damn bit. Why? Because it never does. Okay? It's up to them. So when the Dolphins want to wake up and do things the right way, then fine. But, when you're already sticking with Mike McDaniel, what else do we need to know, bro? Okay. So for me, this season is all about waiting for the change. And then I can start getting excited about the Dolphins, that maybe I can have some hope. But right now I have nothing. The Dolphins are absolutely nothing. And they're not going anywhere with Mike McDaniel. And you've got to be an idiot to think anything else. Let's just be honest. Okay? Now, if you need to lie to yourself, you go ahead and lie to yourself. But I heard it all weekend. Oh, God, I wish the Dolphins were like this. Yeah, we know, bro. We know. Dolphins and Panthers. There's a difference. There's a difference between ownership group. There's a difference between the teams, how they perform, who they are, their character, their toughness, mental, physical, dedication, all of that. Top to bottom, Panthers are superior. It's amazing, right? Because Brad Marchand is a troll. Tyreek Hill is a troll. So we talk about how to run a franchise, how to act, whatever. Panthers do it all the right way, right? Dolphins don't do anything the right way, correct? That's how it goes. Well, this weekend we got Marchand doing a little trolling with the Oilers. Sean Stanley showed them there, And we also had Tyreek, but there's a huge difference when you compare the two, okay? And there's Marchand trolling, okay? Enlarge it for the folks and roll. And obviously he might be a little buzzed, who knows, but he's having fun. He's at Dairy Queen. This is one of those Dairy Queen moments. No hot dogs. Very smart man. Stupid man. Smart man. Go ahead. Play it. Right. Music out, bro, so we don't get tagged. Anyway, so he trolls the Oilers with losers. And you have Tyreek Hill, and I'm not even going to play it because I'm not going to give him any of the stupid attention, but I am going to. Any chance I get to rip Tyreek, I will rip him, okay, because that's fun to do. But here's a troll in Brad Marchand who knows how to troll and can back it up. Whereas Tyreek talks a lot of shit that Kansas City, I'm going to be your biggest fucking nightmare, all that kind of stuff. And what happens? He choked like a dog. Dropped a very key pass that would have led to points and a fumble that ended up becoming a touchdown. He lost the game all by himself. Tua put a beautiful deep ball that would have been points. He dropped it, dropped another crossing route too, even though it was a little behind him, but still should have caught it. But he has bad hands, as we've learned. And then he has the stupid screen, of course, that the coach called, but he fumbles and he gives up the touchdown. And that's who Tyreek is. And over the weekend, he called, the Bills bitches because they don't play man. Dude, whatever they play, they shut your ass down. That's called football. So if you can't beat the cover 2, cover 4, cover 8, whatever you want to call it, cover 47, cover 802, whatever different kind of covers are coming up with because they don't want to play man or whatever and all that. Well, dude, if you're limited and you can't do anything about it, sorry, that's your fault. But see, there's the difference between two guys. One knows how to troll. One is clutch. One's got balls. One helps you win championships. And the other one, all he does is run his mouth, embarrass you, and choke like a dog in big moments. It's an interesting comparison, Brad Marchand and Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is about the biggest phony that we've ever had in this town. And I'm glad, like I told you last week, that Noah Lyles turned his sorry ass down. Why would Noah Lyles waste his time and give that fool any kind of publicity? Why would he want to be anywhere associated with that guy? You're Noah Lyles, dude. You're an Olympic champion. You're a gold medalist. You're the pride of the United States. Tyreek is not the pride of anybody, dude. He's not even the pride of his own family. So it's interesting how you watch one guy troll this weekend in Brad Marchand, and he can do all the trolling he wants because he can back it up. The other guy should just shut the hell up and doesn't. And when he trolls, he just looks like a complete idiot. And that's who Tyreek Hill is. That's why you want to associate yourself with a Brad Marchand, because he's a guy that can back it up, and he's won championships with multiple teams, something that Tyreek can't do and will never do. So, way to go, Brad Marchand. Way to go, my brother. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, and Chainlink and Solana, which you know we love it. By the way, just a little crypto note. Dow, by the way, is up 104 points. The S&P is up 29. The NASDAQ is barely up about half a point right now. Bitcoin, by the way, fell under 100K over the weekend. Yesterday, went to 98, 99K, broke its 44-day streak of staying over 100,000. We'll see now how long this streak lasts over 100,000. We'll find out. I think once we get past the 120, 130, you'll never see anything again under 100K. But again, the whole war stuff and panic and all that, it is what it is. And that's why you have the lettuce hands. The short-term holders are the ones that are selling, not the long-term holders. Strategy, by the way, Michael Saylor, they bought 250 Bitcoin, only 250. So they only spent 26 million. They spent it, by the way, and they paid 105,856 per coin, which is a little bit more than where it's at right now. Actually, let me I'll give you the latest on that. So now they have a total of 592,345 Bitcoins for $41.87 billion at 70,681 per coin. By the way, Bitcoin is approaching 102. It's at 101,994. Anthony Pompliano's ProCap Financial has completed a $1 billion fundraising to purchase Bitcoin. So they're about to purchase $1 billion of Bitcoin. And these idiots are selling. I mean, you just got to be stupid. The smart people, you bought when it went down in 98 and 99 and 100 and now 101 or whatever. I mean, those are the smart people. Anyway, $1 billion purchase is coming. What else do we have? Our debt, we have crossed $37 trillion as a country. and we just dropped some bombs, so we're continuing our spending. They are about to lift even less. They're about to actually give banks less restrictions. So they're going to be printing even more money. Okay. So that's coming. The new budget deal's coming, which will print another $3 trillion. Don't worry about it. The Republicans bitch and complain and all that kind of stuff. The Senate will eventually, they'll have their come to Jesus and they'll get the deal done and all that. And they'll print the $3 trillion on top of what they're already printed in March. Okay. So Bitcoin right now, buying by the whales is going crazy. Whales are gobbling up all the Bitcoin that's being sold right now by the short-term holders. Unemployment rate is climbing at a ridiculous rate. And there's a ton of other catalysts. Okay? Bitcoin is about to shoot up badly. The question is, what's going to happen with altcoins? And that may take a while. The altcoin season for us, oh man, that's going to be painful. You know, it's going to be painful. We're going to be waiting a while. I think different coins might hit along the way, but if Powell doesn't drop the rates, now if unemployment goes through the roof, then Powell will start cutting the rates. But remember, Powell is up next year in March or June or something like that of 26. When he steps out, whoever Trump puts in will be super bullish and will lower rates, and they're going to print, and it's going to go crazy, dude. I think in 26, Bitcoin's well over 300,000. Well over 300,000, maybe 400,000 sometime in 26. I think it just starts going absolutely bonkers because our deficit and everything else will get completely out of control. So hang in there, enjoy, stay strong. Although be careful because altcoin season will be very rough seas for a while. Oscar Rojas says he's buying Bitcoin at the dip at 101. This is obviously due to the war against Iraq. Hey, but I'm not complaining. Great opportunity. Volatility is opportunity. Big O, do you think Drew Rosenhaus is going to be a divorce lawyer as well? Alimony payments? Oh, because it's Tyreek. He's had plenty of clients like him. Nobody has more knuckleheads in the history of the NFL than Drew Rosenhaus, dude. I mean, nobody represents more knuckleheads than that guy. So, what else do we have? Very important question. Oh, when you got the Dairy Queen hot dog, did you put condiments on? Dude, I'm boring, bro. I just put ketchup. I know. I'm an idiot. I know it's blasphemous. Oh, how is it that you put ketchup on a hot dog? You're a loser. You got to put mustard. You don't put ketchup on a hot dog. I've heard the whole thing. I know I'm a loser. Okay, I've been called that 1,000 times for putting ketchup on my hot dog. But so I get what I deserve, dude. I get what I deserve, right? I'm stupid that I was super hungry and I just wanted to snack on something, and I go and I wanted to just pop in, pop out of the exit and get back on and just, was driving from Mobile to Miami. So I don't want to get Miami. I just, I'm one of those guys that barely stop. I'll pee, but I'll run in, pee, run back out, get in the car and bolt. So I go, okay, I'll pop in. And I didn't know what to eat. So I'm at a Dairy Queen. I pick a Dairy Queen, full service Dairy Queen, not a regular one. It has the drive-through, all that stuff. And I pull into a Dairy Queen. There were some other ones, like a McDonald's or whatever. And I go, you know what? I'll just have a hot dog. So I'm the idiot that pulls over at a Dairy Queen in the Panhandle, and I ask for a hot dog, and I put only ketchup on it. And I only ate like 3/4 of it. By the third quarter of that hot dog, I was like, bro, this doesn't feel good. And I stopped. And then the rest is disgusting. But yeah, this is just dumb. But hey, Brad Marchand and company, these are smart individuals. Me, no, I'm a big dummy. They went to Dairy Queen and they had what I normally would have, an Oreo Blizzard, not a hot dog. That's all I've ever had at Dairy Queen is an Oreo Blizzard. That's all I ever get at Dairy Queen. It's my favorite thing to get at Dairy Queen, an Oreo Blizzard with extra Oreos, by the way. Somehow or another, I thought a hot dog was a good idea. Just plain stupidity on my part. So there you go. Let's see. You always charge a guy with a gun, with a knife, you run away. Okay. Whatever. Unemployment is going to increase even more because of AI. Yeah, definitely, of course. Yeah, that's coming. I mean, it's not going to happen like right away, but yeah, it'll take some time. But yeah, definitely. Definitely. What else do we have? I recommend clam sauce for your next Dairy Queen hot dog. It really hits the spot. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you. Big O Paul Maurice is there with Spo, Pat Riley, and Shula. Let's make room for Adam Gase. Oh, man. Folks, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button, please. Okay? Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. OKC, baby. Alan Blanco in our 3A Graphics sports calendar. If you need custom printing and embroidery, call my guy, Alan Blanco, man. 786-618-1443. OKC over the Pacers. 103-91. They win the Larry O'Brien Trophy and the NBA title. SGA wins the MVP. Halliburton suffered an Achilles injury early in the game. He played only 7 minutes, shot 3 of 4 from three-point range for 9 points. He was on fire, but unfortunately blew out his Achilles, and he is out, obviously, for a long time, maybe the entire next season. We'll see. That's one of those you have to be careful and not push it. But OKC becomes the NBA champion. The Miami Heat, they fail in their attempt to get Kevin Durant. But caveat to all of this, the Heat really didn't offer anything. They didn't offer Jovic. They didn't offer Kelly Ware. They didn't offer Tyler. They didn't offer Bam. They offered other players and the first-round pick. And so he ends up going to Houston for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and the number 10 pick and 5 second-round picks. All right. Trade will become legal on July 6th. Tonight at 9 o'clock at Hard Rock Stadium, Inter Miami will take on Palmeiras. And by the way, they do not need this victory. They have already advanced in the group stages of the FIFA World Cup, World Club Cup, or whatever the hell it's called. They've already advanced, so this is one of those games that they can kind of coast. They can kick, push, and coast. So we can watch at 9 o'clock, have a little fun. Detroit City FC defeated Miami FC on Saturday 2-0. This Saturday, they're at Palladium Stadium to take on Greenville Triumph SC at 7 o'clock. And your Florida Panthers held their championship parade in Fort Lauderdale, and once again, 0 incidents, as we don't act like animals like they do in other places. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Dolphins. Very interesting development over the weekend. And it's one of those where you say to yourself, well, wait a minute, hold on. This is something that I didn't realize, or this is something that I knew. Why? Because I listened to the Big O show, is why I knew what was going on. And over the weekend, Kendall Lamb was talking about his experiences with the Philadelphia Eagles. And obviously the Eagles winning the title recently. And this is the second title that they've won. Now, the other one was a few years back, different team, different head coach, different quarterback, all of those kind of things were in the mix. But Kendall Lamb is a guy that has popped around the league for a few years and was here with Miami the last couple of years. So he's had many, many experiences in this league as he's been almost 10 years. Remember, Kendall Lamb wanted to retire. He wanted to kind of call it quits. But he was kind of saying that because he was still in a Dolphins uniform. But once he became a free agent, it's interesting how all of that changed for Kendall Lamb. He all of a sudden didn't want to retire. He wanted to continue playing. Interesting, isn't it? So over the weekend, Kendall Lamb was quoted, and let's bring up the quote and show you the quote, because it's very important to show you the quote and give you the context here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Right? Let's share, because sharing is caring. Okay, Sean, if you can take down that billboard, and here we'll enlarge it a little bit for you. Lamb told ESPN, he says, I understand why the Eagles reached 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Players are never late, never toxic. And after every practice, the team spends 15 minutes sharing personal struggles to stay mentally sharp. Why would he say players are never late and never toxic? Never toxic. So is the toxicity gone from the Miami Dolphins? Is that what they're telling you now? Is that what the hopium writers are telling you? Is that what hopium podcasters are telling you? Everything will be all right this year, and McDaniel will figure it out, and nobody will be late anymore, and there'll be no toxicity. And now, they're all trying to hang out now. I'm sure that Tyreek and Tua are really bonding after everything that Tyreek's done this offseason. I'm sure Tua really feels like he should be bonding with this guy because he can trust him. He's got his back. You watch the Panthers over the weekend. You watch them yesterday. You watch them all week long. You watch them playing on the ice all year long. They've got each other's backs. That's a real team. See, Matthew Tkachuk isn't late because he respects the shit out of Barkov and Marchand and Bobrovsky and Paul Maurice and so on and so forth. And Luosterainen and Lundell are not going to be also late because they give a shit. They want to be there. Any toxicity with the Panthers, is that word even exist in the Panther organization? Do you think there's any toxicity with Matt Caldwell in the front office? You think there's any toxicity going on with Paul Maurice and his coaching staff? You think there's any toxicity going on with the players? Hell, did you see the wives yesterday? Doesn't look like there's a personal competition with wives. Looks like they were all getting along and encouraging each other and taking shots from the champagne bottle and all of that. Looks like there's no toxicity anywhere. Hell, you can hear about stories with the Dolphins having toxicity with their wives, with their coaches over the years. And the players, of course, there has been toxicity. Interesting. Kendall Lamb. I understand why the Eagles reached 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Players are never late, never toxic. And after every practice, the team spends 15 minutes sharing personal struggles to stay mentally sharp. Interesting. But don't worry, Coach McD, he's going to come up with exercises for them to become, together. Don't worry, folks. McD is going to fix everything. It's going to be great chemistry now. They're going to get plays in on time. They're going to adjust to the cover 2. They're going to dedicate themselves to the run. They're just, everything is going to change. Everything you've known about everything you've seen under McD, it's all going to disappear, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Yes, folks. It's all going to disappear. It's beautiful, man. I'm telling you, you guys you have no idea what's going on. Okay? It's all going to change shortly. And that's going to be awesome because now we're going to get perfection like what the Panthers have with the Dolphins. I'm going to push the same kind of hopium that we had Ira pushing for the Heat. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. Yep. Because everybody now is going to be on time. There's no toxicity. I mean, we're not going to have any players calling opponents bitches. No. We're not going to do any of that. We don't want to do any of that kind of stuff. Ho-Yoon! Thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo, as always. You're an absolute stud. Thank you for your generosity, your incredible generosity. And he only puts, have a great day. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. You are also helping us get to Madrid with your generous donations every week. Thank you. Thank you. That is very kind of you. And very close to sealing the deal with Madrid, man. Anyway, thank you all out there. Looking forward to the trip. Hopefully everything goes well. Getting very close to it. Very close. What else do we have to talk about in the world of sports? Joe Burrow. Did you guys catch Joe Burrow? I thought that was kind of funny. If you can, Sean, bring up Joe Burrow. As you all know, Joe Burrow is a great, great quarterback. Fantastic quarterback. Okay, we know that. But we also know that in today's world, kids are brought up a little different, actually. And you may want to take off that let me see, take off the b-ball. Let's take off the b-ball. There we go. So Joe Burrow's there throwing a baseball or attempting to throw a baseball. And he's really bad at throwing a baseball. Like, he doesn't even, like, he hit the target one time, but like everything, as you see, he is Captain Hook. If he was a pitcher, they'd call him Captain Hook. It's a different world today, the athletes. Kids, they bring them up learning one sport, and that's all they play. So Joe Burrow, you would think as a pitcher, like you can go see Marino, and Marino was drafted also as a pitcher. So he could throw football, he could throw baseball, he could hit a golf ball like he's a pro. He pulls tricks, all kinds of shit. Marino has this incredible hand-eye coordination because he played other sports. And that is one thing that happens with kids nowadays, is that they're really, like, I grew up changing with the seasons, except for hockey because we didn't have hockey down here. But we roller skated, we skateboarded, and when we skateboarded, we were either jumping also, we were doing all kinds of tricks with our board. We were searching for round pools because if it was a square pool, you couldn't do it. But if you found a round pool, you could actually, we used to skateboard pools, biking. We didn't just bike. No. We were jumping, we were motor crossing, we were doing all kinds of different things. You know what I mean? I didn't just bike. I had a red line bike with an Ashtabula fork and Ashtabula neck and magnesium rims. You think I was just cruising around? No, obviously. Doing all kinds of stuff. What was that other thing that we would do to when you like hit the back tire? You can like flick it and hit things. I forgot what that was called. But, it wasn't just wheelies and, that's kind of that's how we were when we were growing up. We didn't just play baseball. We played softball and we played wiffle ball. So you had to adjust throwing a baseball. You had to adjust to throwing a softball. You had to adjust to throwing a wiffle ball. And if you played stick ball or something, then you had a different ball, sometimes even a tennis ball. So you would have, and sometimes you played with gloves or without gloves. It's really weird how we grew up testing all of our athletic skills. And nowadays, the kids just grow up testing just one athletic skill. It's weird. We would effing around. We'd all take turns kicking the football, field goals. We'd use the electrical wires as the targets. Okay, hit that one. Okay, all right, now you got to aim for the higher one. And now we played a game like that. I don't know if you ever did that, Sean, when you were a kid. Like, you didn't just play football. You didn't just throw the ball, but then you're like, hey, let's go have a kicking contest for the hell of it. So you did your own kick, punt, and pass. They don't do that like that anymore. They don't play baseball anymore if they're playing football. And they certainly aren't playing wiffle ball and stick ball and softball. And it's weird, right? Like you could wake up in the morning playing baseball, and then by midday you're throwing around a frisbee, and then at night you're flinging a football. So you're working like all kinds of skills. Kids aren't like that anymore. And so when you watch Joe Burrow trying to throw a baseball, and it's just he's hooking it all because you can tell he's just not used to throwing a baseball. And he probably didn't have much success doing it or something. I don't know. Certainly doesn't look like it. Because when you're a multi-sport athlete, you're going to adjust to all of it quickly. It's the weirdest thing. We didn't just skateboard, we roller skated too. It's weird. We were speed skating also, boys only, backwards, whatever it was. We didn't just play football. We did all kinds of other shit at the same time, and kind of switch with the season. We were playing basketball. You go to the beach, you play volleyball. It was kind of like that was like, it's how you do it. Or you bike rode to the beach and you played frisbee or volleyball at the beach while you were there. And then you went in the water and you were swimming. Or you were cannonballing, or you were diving off bridges like I was at Virginia Key. It's weird, right? Like kids really don't grow up testing all of their athletic skills. Are they climbing trees? Are they building clubhouses? No, their dad is probably building the effing clubhouse. No, we built our clubhouses. It's weird. It's weird. We built our box cars for racing. We went and found the shopping cars and tore them off. And then, it's like just creative shit and athletics and everything else that goes along. And when I see Joe Burrow, you know what I also say to myself? I say, thank the Lord I grew up in the era that I grew up in, because you could not be a one sport athlete in my neighborhood. So if you couldn't bounce rocks off the water, well, dude, you're gonna struggle there at that moment. Oh, you can't throw frisbee? Well, then you're out of this game right now. Oh, wait a minute, we brought some golf clubs over to the park, at our park in Arbondale. Willie Paul was one of the guys. He had golf clubs. He would bring them over, and we'd start whacking the ball from one end of the park to the other, just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. You could be playing basketball, you could be playing baseball or softball at our park. So if you didn't know how to do any of those things, you weren't going to be playing much. But all of us did everything. Didn't matter what it was. You were going to test your skill set in whatever it was. If you were playing tag, you're going to test your running skills, your climbing skills, right? All kinds of shit. It's interesting that I think about it, and it's like, wow, most kids they've never ever grown up the way I grew up at all. They don't know what it's like to bike to completely different neighborhoods and go play different sports or different activities or whatever it is, because everything is controlled. So it's I'm grateful. I gotta say, I'm grateful, because it's fun that way. It's fun that I can put on a pair of roller skates or a pair of ice skates, or I can go water skiing or snow skiing. I can do it all because I did it all. I can probably still do all that shit. You know what I mean? May not be as sharp, but I'll just give me a little bit and I'll figure it out, because I've done it all pretty much. So it's kind of weird like that. Give me a frisbee. I'll throw a frisbee. I'll throw a softball. I'll throw a baseball. I'll throw a football. It doesn't matter. It's all the same to me. And I can throw them all effectively. It's weird, man. Weird how kids grow up completely different nowadays than what we did in the 70s and the 80s. Because I can't say, I can tell you for sure, kids nowadays don't even come close to it. Not even close. Dougie Fresh says, oh, Burrow looks like Lamar from Revenge of the Nerds when he threw that javelin. Exactly. Yeah. Here's the question. Who will win the championship first, the Heat or the Finns? Neither one is close. And I don't know. The Heat have a long rebuild ahead of them. You know, it's going to be interesting. Will Riley stay for a long rebuild at this stage of his life? Because that's what they need. There's no quick fix for them. So we'll see. But neither one is close to championship right now. They're nowhere near a championship right now. Okay? And the Heat are now in the 80s stage of the Dolphins. They had their 70s stage when they were winning the championships. The last 10 years now have been the 80s, where they went to a couple, but they weren't really that team like the Dolphins weren't in the 80s. So now we'll see what happens over the next 10 years. See if it becomes the Dolphins of the 90s, as I've so accurately shown everybody that the Heat are turning into the Dolphins as we speak. And we'll see what the next 10 years, because right now it doesn't look good. It looks like it's getting worse. You know, that's why I'm telling you that this Panther run, enjoy it, because when it ends, I don't know if you'll ever get anything back that even comes close to this or resembles it. And the Dolphins and the Heat are the perfect examples of that. You know? What else do we have going on in the world of sports to talk about? Oh, our friends at Caneswear. Sean Stanley, please show them. Remember, use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off if you want to get any of your Panthers championship gear or you want to get your stuff signed. Well, Caneswear is loaded this week. Are you ready, folks? Today, 215 to 345 at 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Luosterainen and Lundell will be there signing autographs. This place is going to be a madhouse. Get on down there. Use our code BIGO10. Save 10% off anything, even online, by the way. Then today also in the afternoon, Gadjevich and Greer will be between 5 and 6:30. So you have a little break, an hour and 15 minutes in between Luosterainen and Lundell, and then Gadjevich and Greer will be coming in tomorrow, Tuesday, the 24th. You have 2:45 to 4:15, Mikola and Schmidt. Nico Mikola, Nate Schmidt. Okay, 2:45 to 4:15. So if you want to get that Panther hat or jersey, go buy it at Caneswear. Get 10% off. Use our code BIGO10. And then on Tuesday, after those guys, at 5:45 to 7:15, the one and only Sasha Barkov. BIGO10. Save 10% off. Wednesday, June 25th. 2:45 to 4:15, Ekblad and Forsling. This could be the last time you see Ekblad. Okay? So if you have a Ekblad bobblehead like I do, you could get it signed. Anyway, Ekblad and Forsling, Wednesday, June 25th, 2:45 to 4:15. Then Thursday, June 26th, 3:30 to 5 o'clock, Reinhardt. That's awesome. And on that Thursday, when Reinhardt's done at 3:30, at 6:30, and he's done at 5, an hour and a half later at 6:30, is the man that Ira Winderman picks Tyler Hero over Carter Verhaeghe. What is wrong with Ira? What is the hopium going on with Ira, bro? Anyway, Carter Verhaeghe on Thursday, 6:30 to 8 p.m., all at Caneswear this week. Championship week at Caneswear. And use our code BIGO10, and you will get 10% off, sir and ladies out there. Okay? And tell them that Big O sent you, too. Take your kid, man. Gets to meet a couple Panther players. That's pretty awesome. Take a picture with them. It's fantastic. Great moment for you and your child, man. Take your kid out there, man. It's a great moment to enjoy and embrace. By the way, Bitcoin is almost at 102,000, 101,785. Okay. Big O, how did the Dolphins become soft? Bro, if you have not followed it, what can I tell you? Pat and Asheville, we'd bike 5 miles to the lake and speed and spend the entire day, and we didn't even take a water bottle. Garden hoses from people's yards were our lifesavers. Yeah. Whole different world back then, huh? It's crazy. Yes, I did play Frisbee football. Yes. Actually, we played Frisbee football at the park, and we played it at the Grove also. And they have the Vita course there where you also play that thing with the chains. But yeah, I played a little Frisbee football. It was fun. Actually, played it at the beach also, played Frisbee football, which is really difficult because of the stinking wind. Who else do we have here? What else do we have? Sign Marchie now. Bennett will get signed soon, my brother. Did I go to no championship parade for me, bro. I've watched it. I'm good. I've been to all those things. I've done it. I have no intentions on going to any championship parades anymore, my brother. No. I'll watch it. That's it. I'm good. I'm glad, dude. I'm glad there's the blessing that I've had from doing this platform for the last 5 years is I'm not forced to do anything I don't want to do. That's all. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to interview people I don't want to interview or support a team that I don't have to because I'm working for them or whatever, like the Marlins or some bullshit like that. And I don't have to cover shit like that anymore. It's fun and it's great for the fans and all that. And I've had my moments with all of that. But at my age, dude, I'm good, bro. I have no intentions on going through all that traffic and all that hassle and be out there all day long in the sun and baking and all that shit. No, dude, that's you. I saw a lot of the faces. They were young. Those are the people that belong there. People like me, I'll watch it from afar and enjoy it and embrace it. But I have no intentions on being done. I don't care if the Panthers told me, hey, you could come on out and join us in the background and we'll give you, VIP and all that. And I would say, thank you. That's very nice of you, but I'm not. I'll watch it here from my house, nice and calmly. I'm not doing that. Yeah. I've already done those things where you go onto that island and you're trapped in the parking and all that. I've done that in years past for all kinds of other events. No chance. No chance whatsoever, dude. Okay. So it's all good. I did enough watching the season. And that, my friends, is more than enough. All right. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Deportes. What else do we have? Let me see if there's any kind of breaking news that we have going on. I don't see anything breaking. Sean, do you see any kind of breaking news right now? If you guys got questions, send them in right now. Also, First Take is talking about the Miami Heat unwilling to part with. Frankie, I don't watch ESPN, so I wouldn't know what they're talking about. I really don't care. Like the I watch the finals. I don't know about you guys. I don't watch the pregame show. I just tune in right as the tip-off starts. And then when halftime hits, I go to YouTube, I go to another channel. I never watch halftime. I don't watch ESPN, dude. I'll watch Sports Center to see if there's any breaking stories, and I won't sit there and watch Sports Center. I'll speed through it to see if there's an interesting story that's broken. I don't watch any pieces. I don't watch any analysis. I don't bother with, I've talked about this over and over again. When you're doing shit with Screaming A, and he's a complete fraud, and I've said it over and over again. This is a fool that talks about football players that aren't even in the league or they're injured, and he's acting like they're talking about them like they're playing currently or whatever. He was just busted playing, what was it, solitaire or whatever during the NBA finals or whatever. That's what this media is. I don't watch this, bro. I don't watch any of this. I watch the games and then I get out. I barely watch anything anymore. I'll watch the sporting event itself. I do not care about the analysis anymore. I don't care about the commentary. Give me the news story that happened. What broke? Who got traded? Who got signed? What was the arrest for? What was the whatever, the news. Give me the news and I'm out. I don't need to get anything else from people. I'm good with that. And why? Because of what we're watching nowadays. It's disgusting. That's all. Pretty simple. It's disgusting. So I'm not going to watch somebody that, like a Screaming A or something like that. Yeah, I'm not watching that shit. I'm just not. To me, they bring practically nothing to the table. So that's where I'm at. And First Take, oh my God, are you kidding me? I would never watch those things anymore. I stopped watching First Take and any of those stupid shows. I stopped watching them a few years ago. Yeah. Just not worth it anymore. So don't really care what they're saying. You know what I mean? But I get it. They do a good job to troll you all in and get you guys hook, line, and sinker. What else do we have? Oh, I see your IR. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's pretty good, bro. That's pretty good. Yes, I got an IRS record shirt today. Yes. Very nice, Dougie Fresh. See your IRS record shirt. Did you know that Black Sabbath was once on the IRS label? Really? I did not know that, dude. Wow. That is cool. That is cool. I mean, it's one of those. It's one of those record companies that you appreciate because they took the chances that others wouldn't. And by doing that, they opened up just, possibilities for some great bands, and it got us exposed to some great bands. So IRS is one of those, one of those record companies that as a music fan, you got to just kind of appreciate who they are and the balls that they brought to the table. Pat in Asheville says, I watched First Take years ago. Turns out it was my last take. It's just so bad, dude. So bad. It's just not worth watching any of that shit anymore. Only live sports on ESPN for me. All that talk crap is no go. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's just bad stuff, What? And Stuart Copeland's brother founded IRS Records. Really? Wow. Thank you, guys. I'm going to have to watch an IRS documentary here and get a little bit more of a refresher course on it. Nice job, guys. I didn't know it was Stuart Copeland's brother. Pat, you always have these facts, bro. You always come up with this stuff. Good shit, man. Good shit. Good shit. Yeah, the golden age of ESPN, it died a long time ago, dude. Long time ago. Let me get to a little music history, and let's start off with the musicians born on this date. Switch up a little bit here. Let's see. We start off with Katie Tunstall. I have seen her in concert. Very talented young lady. Born in 1975 on this date. Who else celebrating a birthday? Paul Arthur is one of the founding members of Oasis. Born in 1965. Steve Shelley, drummer with Sonic Youth. Born in 1962. Lee John from the three-piece band Imagination. Ooh, ooh, ah, illusion. Born in 1957, Lee Johnson. Who else celebrating birthdays today? Miles Goodwin. The legend, baby. Canadian legend, vocalist, guitarist, principal songwriter for April Wine. Because you're my girl, and enough is enough. Anyway, we lost him on December 3rd of 2023 at the age of 75. I love April Wine, dude. Love April Wine. Big April Wine fan. Who else is celebrating birthdays today? Nikki Sullivan, guitarist, singer, one of the three original members of Buddy Holly's backing group, The Crickets. June Carter, born in 1929, wife of Johnny Cash. And that is it for musicians. Let's go with other famous people celebrating birthdays today. On June 23rd, which, by the way, is day number 18,746 that the Miami Dolphins have not lifted the Vince Lombardi trophy. All right, remember, if I don't give you the age, that means that person has passed away, okay? Because this list is usually pretty heavy, and it gives us quite a few people that have passed away and are, big names like British King Edward VIII, born in 1894. So, shocker, he's no longer with us. Let's see, who else do we have? Nobel Peace Prize winner laureate Marty Astari, born in 1937. I have no idea what he did to earn it. Hall of Fame sprinter Wilma Rudolph, born in 1940. Actor Ted Shackelford, born in 46, he's 79. Actor Brian Brown, born in 47, he's 78. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, born in 1948, he's 77 now. I'm just thinking of that Neil Rogers bit. I've played it for you guys. Let's see. Music producer Randy Jackson, born in 56. He's 69. Musician Derek Bostrom from the Meat Puppets, born in 60, 65. Musician, golfer, member Colin Montgomery, born in 63. He's 62. Filmmaker Joss Whedon, born in 64. He of Buffy fame is 60. Selma Blair. Poor woman's had some bad luck, bro. Born in 72, she's 53. Jason Mraz, musician, born in 77, he's 48. And musician Duffy, born in 84, 41 years old for her. That is famous people. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir, we do. Billy Kay turns 36. Brandy Rhodes is 42. And George Takano, the Cobra, turned 67 on June 23rd, 2025.
Randy Rhodes, huh? The guitarist? Wow. He passed away. He was also a wrestler. The guy was like 5'2" and he weighed like 104 pounds. Wow.
Well, she is married to Cody Rhodes, the American.
Oh, wait. Well, maybe it was a sex change. They do those things nowadays. And then they compete in women's sports, which is just wrong on every level, by the way. I'm all for that community, LGBT, have all your freedoms except that one. Can't have dudes in women's sports. That just doesn't fly, bro. No logic there. None whatsoever. That's all I can say. Anyway, what else do we have going on? Jalen Ramsey, any trade going on? Dude, it's the 23rd of the month. Didn't Adam Schefter say that there was this long line of people that were dying to trade for Jalen Ramsey? At least we know that we're only a couple of weeks away or less from Jonnu Smith, because Drew Rosenhaus said it'll be solved by a training camp, that he'll be moved by training camp, basically. So that's good, at least. You'll get that one. At least you'll lose that guy. The other guy, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Interesting. Free agent Rasul Douglas doesn't think he'll return to Green Bay. He's one of those targets, of course, for the great Miami Dolphins. Rasul Butler. Love that. Love that. That is fantastic, dude. By the way, Wednesday, we are at Subaru of Pembroke Pines at 16100 Pines Boulevard. So come on out and join us right off of I-75 and Pines. And by the way, the Summer of Love going on, the Summer Love sales event going on right now. The Solterra is $297 a month, 0% financing for 72 months and 0 down, which is pretty cool. You want some more love? We got it. The Forester 2025 model, $242 a month, 3.9% financing for 36 months, 0 down, sign and drive. Find out, baby. We got lots of love for you at Subaru and more love for you. Use my name. Okay. There's a QR code also. You'll get $500 off the next purchase of your Subaru vehicle. So if you go see Eric Stampone or any of the guys out there, you tell them that Big O sent you. Alan does a great job out there. He's a general manager. He's fantastic. You're going to love him. Good people, man. You're looking for the Outback, $267 a month, 2.9% financing. The Crosstrek, $224 a month, 2.9% financing for 48 months, 0 down, sign and drive. The Impreza, great car to start off for kids out there. You got a youngin' that is learning how to drive, $157 a month, 4.9% financing for 36 months. They've got 0 down, sign and drive also. So all the options are there for you. Tell them that Big O sent you. 16100 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 at Pines. Tell them that I sent you. They'll take care of you. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Love it. Love it. Where are we at with the Bitcoin climb? We are at 101,502 right now. So not bad. Not bad. Pretty damn good. I like it. Let's see what else. Frankie Fresco, thank you for the love in the super chat. Says, question for Sean, why are they saying Cena's promo this past Friday was amazing? In my opinion, it was okay. Also, I heard Punk is still laying in the ring. So what do you got, Sean? Besides, of course, Square Circle Digest Tuesday night.
Yeah, we're off for the next 2 weeks though. So, but
that's you are doing your thing.
Yeah. All they did was they replayed what happened many moons ago. John Cena took on R-Truth at the time in a tables match. CM Punk came out and dropped the pipe bomb. They just redid that. It was Cena versus Ron Killings this time, and then now John Cena turned the tables, and CM Punk had to lay in the table for the 5 minutes of talking instead of John Cena laying in the corner. All he did was flip around and just did a reverse pipe bomb.
Is CM Punk a U.S. citizen?
Yes, he is. He's Chicago made.
Okay, no, because if you're going to be doing pipe bombs, you could get extradited from this country.
Yeah, but he is Chicago made. So
okay, all right. Just in case, I'm just looking out for the guy. You got to be careful. Kick your ass out for anything nowadays. Let's see. Jeff in Long Island says Ramsey sent a message to the team. You signed the contract. Is that what he put? Oh, man. Big O McDaniel reminds me of a combination of Alfred E. Newman and Richard Simmons. Wow. Fabulous. That's all I can say. We have to go through this charade and wait till they fire the guy. It's, I'm glad that like the Kendall Lamb stuff that comes out, I'm just really proud of our show that we don't bullshit you people. You may not like it, what I tell you sometimes, but at least it's the truth. And I told you the place is a disaster. And I told you people don't believe in that guy. And all you're watching are comments from players that are either stuck here or players that have left. Or all you have to do is watch all the defections. People don't want to be a part of this. And I think I've been saying this for a while. And when Kendall Lamb came out like that, bro, that is the biggest backhanded shot. And it shows that you were completely bullshitting about retiring. It's just, you're in this situation at the moment and the season hasn't ended yet, so you're officially not a free agent yet. Well, I don't know, man. I'm thinking of retiring. And then once you're free, now you can like say, oh, no, I've been rejuvenated now and all that. No, bro, you're away from the Dolphins now. That's what it is. That's how bad it is that people either want to retire or they just want to get away. But the people that are there, they don't believe in this dude. And the worst part is that we have to go through this dog and pony show. When you and I know, or at least if you didn't, at least you know now, how this is going to end. They'll fire the guy and they'll put Weaver in his place. And that's what this whole season is all about, dude. So, I don't know. Crazy, man. Okay. Big O, what are your thoughts on Trump bombing Iran? I have no problem with it. None whatsoever. 4 presidents have been talking about getting rid of these assholes. We've had an Ayatollah running that place forever. We had the other Ayatollah. They took our hostages back in 1979. These assholes have been a thorn in our side. They can't have a nuclear weapon. You know what I love about all this argument is they're trying to decide how far they are. One side, like the left wants to say, oh, Well, they're not that close. Well, the fact that they're trying to build one, the fact that they don't want to give you access, the fact that the agreement with Obama was that, okay, we'll let you start doing it, but it's for energy purposes and we will overlook it. They don't want anybody to overlook it. Why? Because they're building a bomb and they want to take out the Jews and then they want to take us out. That's it. So, dude, I don't agree with a ton of shit that Trump does or says. I don't agree with most of the shit that Biden did, Trump or does or says. Doesn't even know what he's saying. But the good thing about me is I don't give a shit. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel, what I agree with and what I don't agree with. And it's not about politics because I don't care about the left or the right. But I do care about the fact that Iran's government is a bunch of scumbags. And they've been scumbags forever. And so I'm glad the Israelis just trounced their ass. And I'm glad that Trump did what you're supposed to do with these effers. Okay, screw Iran. That's what I got to say. And everybody around there, you saw Milley come out and say it, and the countries around Iran, they don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. Everybody knows it. So enough already. Enough of the complaint. Screw Iran, dude. Maybe the regime change will happen for once, and maybe the Iranian people can be freed. Okay? Israelis are getting along with Saudi Arabia. So it's not like they can't get along. They can get along. And most of them don't want war and terrorism and all that, actually. It's just a couple of those countries, and it's led by Iran. So I'm glad that all of these terrorist groups have taken a absolute beating. And I'm glad that Israel is doing a huge favor to the world, my brother. So screw Iran's government, okay? Bury those effers all the way down to the middle of the core of the earth so they can fry. That's where I'm at, okay? And I think Trump's a major idiot, and I think tariffs are going to kill us, and I think he's going to print like crazy and not do anything for our dollar or our economy or anything like that. But on this one, I agree with him. Okay? He does and says a lot of stupid shit. Okay? But this one right here, I agree with him. I have no problem with it. None whatsoever. None. Screw Iran. Okay? Screw Iran. It's not the Iranian people. Screw Russia, not the Russian people. Screw North Korea, not the North Korean people. It's what we're dealing with. Screw Cuba, not the Cuban people. Screw Venezuela. You know, I'm sorry. I'm not for any of these governments. Okay? So this one you can take out. Take these scumbags out, bro. Blow them out of kingdom come. And don't allow them into the big boy world with a weapon that they're just terrorists trying to use a nuclear weapon. We can't have that. So out of all those things, that's one where I'm going to agree with Trump on. Okay, so that's my 2 cents, and I have no problem sharing my opinion on that one. Ira is one hope away from common sense. Ira's trying to sell papers, is what he's trying to do. Okay. One thing I've noticed is that it's rare for a beat writer to write about ultimate damnation for whatever beat they're covering. They won't say it. Will a Marlins beat writer tell you, listen, does it really matter? These guys aren't going anywhere. No, they'll just talk about whatever they're covering. And the Heat beat writer is not going to tell you, and the Dolphins beat writer is not going to tell you that. Folks, it doesn't matter whether they trade Jalen Ramsey or not. They're not going anywhere. We'll tell you that. But they have bosses that won't allow that because, you know, they've got to create some kind of hopium. But I don't do that here, bro. I don't create the hopium. You know, the hopium comes from actual stuff that you do, like the Panthers. But there's really nothing else nothing that the Heat are doing can give you any kind of hopium. Nothing that the Dolphins are doing is hopium in any way, shape, or form. The Canes. That's the one I have hopium for. Because unlike the Dolphins, he's building the right way in the trenches. And one thing I love that Mario did last year, he got out of the way of his offensive coordinator and his quarterback, and he let them be themselves. And that was very important. Now, their defense, obviously, and their defensive coordinator weren't getting the job done. Let's hope that there's a drastic improvement there. But the talent is there for you to be better. So, and you do fundamentally what you need in football. You got to run the ball and dominate at the line of scrimmage on offense and defense, and he is recruiting that. So I give them hope. I don't have a hopium for the Heat. I don't have a hopium for the Dolphins for you. But I have some hopium for you for Canes football. Yeah, I do. I've got a little hopium there for you. That one gives me a little bit of hope, you know, that Mario can be better on Saturdays. And that talent, because you get to recruit many first, second, and third rounders in football, in college football. So let's see what happens. But that one, I got a little hope for you. I'm not selling you anything when it comes to the Dolphins or the Heat. No chance. No chance. So let's see what else. We are on the verge of a Cam Cameron season of doom. I don't know if it'll be a Cam Cameron season. That was pretty bad. You know what? I'll tell you this. If there's anything that resembles Cam Cameron, McDaniel will be fired very early. It won't get to even week 10. If you're 1-4, there's no way he survives that. He's gone. Yeah. At 1-4, he's gone. For sure. Now, they won't screw around. That I can tell you. All right, folks, we're out of here. We thank Ira Winderman. We thank, of course, the great Sean Stanley. Appreciate all of you out there as always. We shall see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.
This is the Big O Show. This is